Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 41 from Wonderful PreCure, which was truly wonderful. I loved this episode. I had so much fun, but it was not only constructed of fun moments. We had some pretty interesting a pretty interesting story which I believe is related to the lore of Wonderful, and that is what I want to start this video with. Let's discuss the story of Subaru that Satoru read a little bit. So there's a moment at the start of the episode in which Karasuma gives Satoru a diary from the past. It is 150 years old or something, and they start reading. Actually, Satoru starts reading this diary. This diary tells the story of a man called Subaru, and this man met a wolf that was hurt. He helped the wolf get better, and the wolf went away. In another moment, he met this wolf again, and this wolf, knowing it was the man who saved him before, made the man follow him, and when he did, he learned that that wolf was the leader of the wolf pack. Time passed and they became friends. They grew closer to each other. And even though they could not communicate with words, they did not have the same language, they still were able to become good friends. And they spent a lot of their time together. This man also gave the wolf a name, but it wasn't possible for Satoru to read the name from the diary. Satoru also mentions that the diary is written in an old language, in old Japanese, so he will probably take some time to read that story, and it will definitely come into play later on in the season when Satoru reads more and learns more from it. There was also a very important scene in this story, which is a scene in which Subaru and the wolf are sitting in rocks, one in each of the rocks. That is a very clear reference to Gao in last week's episode, episode 40. Gao, after leaving the shrine, found a different place to be. It is on that same stone. But now he doesn't have his friend on the other stone. He has his followers, Zakuro and Torame, but it's a different thing. Based on what we have from the lore of Wonderful, we know that the wolf pack was killed by the humans in its entirety. There wasn't even one wolf that survived the attack, the massacre. Unfortunately, it is a very sad thing. And one of these wolves is actually Gao, who was the leader of the pack of wolves, and he now became the antagonist of Wonderful PreCure. But before that, there is also another event, which was when Niko-sama gave the animals the ability to communicate with humans. So there are three parts of this story. We still have some blanks to fill. We know that this man, Subaru, became friends with the wolf. And then we know that a little after, or sometime after, Niko-sama gave them the power of communication. And then after that, we know that there was a massacre and all the wolves were killed. We do not know the name of the wolf that became friends with Subaru, but I really believe that that name is Gao, and that name is given to the wolf by Subaru. If that is truly Gao, if he still keeps the name that Subaru gave him, and he still references himself with the name that Subaru gave him, he probably still has that friendship in high regard. So, I don't know. I think that there is a lot to learn from this, but I am loving how the story is being constructed with small pieces here and there. We're putting the puzzle pieces together, and we're going to learn more about it in the future for sure. But for now, I'm very happy that we had this. But the stars of the episode were the drama club kids and also obviously the wonderful cast. And look, I love when we have secondary characters like we had in this episode that are really able to shine, but they never really take away the center from the main characters. That is how I like secondary characters in stories like PreCure. And we had one of the most amazing secondary characters of Wonderful, who was Kitsune Zaki, which is the leader of the drama club. She really wanted Yuki to be part of the drama club. Yuki did not want to. She, rejected the offer once more. Everybody wanted, especially Mayu, wanted Yuki to be part of it, but Yuki was not interested at all. Kitsune Zaki, after hearing the story that Satoru read, had an idea of changing the script and do another play. They were going to do Romeo and Juliet, which is kind of a staple already in Magical Girls, I feel like. And then on the next day, she returns to school with a totally new script, and she had bags under her eyes. This is... I feel represented by this character. I feel seen and represented. I love it. And when she comes, she is very worried because there's not going to be enough time, and everyone says that they want to participate, they want to help, except for Yuki. But Kitsune Zaki knows how to get her to her side. She looks at Yuki and says, "Don't you want to wear a costume that Mayu will do for you?" And Yuki obviously accepts. Look, this episode, it looks very pretty, but not only that, it was not only pretty. The expressions of the characters were super on point, 100% all the time. They were stunning. I loved them. And they were funny in certain moments, but in others, we had other expressions that were really good. And Kitsune Zaki was so expressive, which matches her perfectly. She is the theater kid. She is the drama kid. So she needs to be very expressive, very expansive, and they worked it perfectly with her character. Another thing that I found that this episode was very good with was with Komugi. Komugi was the star to me. I mean, Yuki, obviously. Yuki is always the star, but Komugi was also a star. She also had the role, and it's funny because her name in the play is Wheat, and Komugi means wheat. So it's a very nice reference there. And, Komugi was really a star. The way she wanted a role as a dog, there wasn't even a dog in the play. And the way she got that role, girl, it was incredible. And I also loved how fast-paced this episode was, because we see them getting the play ready very fast, and then it's time for the play. And I love the costumes that Mayu made. Mayu, you rocked it. You are a star in your own right. And obviously Yuki, as the divinity of the forest, was gorgeous. Girl, I love that tone of green. And I really want to cure with that tone of green one day. She looks so beautiful. And at that moment, when we see her for the first time, lots of pink, blue, and yellow details. 2025 PreCure, pink, blue, and yellow. Joking. And then the play starts. The play starts with that wolf that ends up befriending a human, even though they are not able to befriend each other in that first moment, when Yuki's character is able to bestow on the wolf a new form. And we have a very evil king, and this wolf is bestowed with the responsibility of helping and protecting his own pack. But he also says that the human that he made friends with is now part of his pack too. So he is going to protect not only his wolf pack, but also the human. While everything is happening, we have Zakuro watching. Zakuro and Torame appeared in this episode sitting in the rocks. And those are the same rocks that we see in the past at the start of the episode. And they're discussing and they're disgusted at what happens in Animal Town, what they made from Animal Town. Both of them want the humans gone. Torame wants the humans gone because he wants that place all for himself to play there. And Zakuro wants to spend time with Gao on that space. And then Zakuro goes in to attack. When she's watching the play, she falls in love with the wolf that she is seeing, which is actually Kitsunezaki playing the character. And when she sees the wolf turning into a human in the play, she notices that it wasn't a real wolf. So she gets all angry and she creates a Gaogaon. And it's very funny that she screams like, oh, this is punishment for myself for betraying Gao-sama. Gao-sama does not care, girl. I'm sorry. He cares about you, but he does not care about your love at all. And then we see a Gaogaon and, Komugi and Yuki notice and they have to leave. But Yuki's character still has to be on the play. What are they going to do? Niko-sama. Niko-sama, the slayage that she is, takes the responsibility of being Yuki's character while they go and find the Gaogaon. When they find the Gaogaon, it is a chameleon that can, camouflage and disappear with this ability. And so obviously the Gaogaon will make use of this ability against the girls. And it's very nice that I feel like there was so much action in this. I wonder if it was actually a fighting scene, it would have been like super, super cool because everything looks so on point. So we have Satoru explaining that the chameleon can hide itself, can camouflage. Komugi found it, or Cure Wonderful found it super amazing, while Yuki was worried. And it's very nice to see the difference between Wonderful and Friendly and Nyami and Lillian. The way Nyami and Lillian are totally serious in the situation, while Nyami, Wonderful and Friendly are a little bit more playful around it. The way they are drawn show it very well. At the same time, we see Nico. Nico is there on stage now as in her human form, as herself in her human form. And she says something that feels very Nico, recent Nico. So let's go back a little bit. Nico gave the ability in the past for animals and humans to communicate. But then she took that back because that created problems. We do not know which problems it created, but that created problems. She took that power back. That is why humans and animals cannot communicate directly anymore. And she created Nico Garden. Nico Garden is a specific place only for animals without the interference of humans. For Nico, humans weren't good anymore. After everything that happened with the wolves and maybe something more that we don't know, she changed her views on humans. But now things are different because she noticed, after seeing everything that happens in Animal Town, she noticed that there are lots of good humans. So the relationship and the friendship between humans and animals is possible. She can see it with her own eyes. That is what she said on stage. Humans and animals have to be friends. You both have to be friends. And so we can see a difference in Nico's character and in Nico's speech and everything that she's seen in Animal Town and with the wonderful girls. She has been changing her mind and changing her views. And so back to the action, we have the Kirerin Kitsune being used again. So we have a big makeup brush with Wonderful. Nyami is the one who uses it. I love it. It is visually really nice. And it is nice to see Yuki using it or Nyami using it because, she is part of Pretty Holic in a way, even though it's Mayu. But, Yuki also lives in the house, in the Pretty Holic store, basically. So she knows about makeup and she uses it against the Gaogaon. And so they can see where the Gaogaon is. We see Ribbon Barrier and Lillian Net being used to tie it up. And then Nico arrives. I totally forgot they needed Nico for the Kizuna shower. I totally forgot about it. But Nico arrives together with Mei Mei and they perform the purification move, everything is fine with the Gaogaon, and then they just go back and finish the play. The play is finished with some ad-libs from Komugi because the ending of the play would have been a goodbye between the wolf and the human because they cannot be friends. At least that's what the characters were gonna say. And Komugi remembers what Gao told her when they met in episode 38, 39, 39, right? 39. And she goes back on stage and she starts saying that, well, they have to be friends. And, there was obviously a funny moment because Komugi was not supposed to speak. She was a dog. But then there was Yuki's character who gave her this blessing, this power inside the play. And everything was fine. And Komugi was able to share basically more or less the same thing that Nico did. But Komugi had a whole speech for that. Because Komugi has it in her own story with Iroha. And so, because of that, the play has a very happy ending and everything finishes super, super fine. Everything is cool. And, they thank Yuki for her amazing skills, but they are at the end very curious to learn who that woman was taking place of Yuki. And obviously, Yuki was super smart in answering that by changing the subject and saying, well, you want to know who she is, so that means you don't need me anymore. Goodbye. I don't want to be part of the drama club any longer. And so she just, brushes her hair off and leaves as the diva that she is. Oh my God, what an amazing episode. Crumbs of lore. I love it. And there's an interesting thing. It seems that Subaru, the kanji that is used for Subaru, and the word Pleiades, they have some sort of relation. So I'm curious for more. I want to know more about this Subaru character. And obviously, the play had a lot to do with what happened in the past. I wonder, obviously, the attack on the wolves probably was because of greed, and obviously probably not a king as we saw in the play, but probably because of greed we had an attack on the wolves. I'm very curious, and this is a very tragic story, and I wonder, I'm wondering this, I say this a lot, I wonder how Wonderful will work with Gao and his probable redemption, because there is absolutely no way they're going to punish Gao for the way he's feeling, because that is totally justified. I mean, at least that's how I see it. Anyways, next week, it seems we're going to have a very heartwarming and wonderful episode of Wonderful PreCure. I feel like that's going to be very wholesome. Just a cute moment, because we know that things are going to get very intense soon. We're on to the last stretch of Wonderful. We're close to the last arc. I feel like we're going to start the last arc at the end of December, January. So, we're close. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I'm going to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.